General Hospital.
Port Charles had been living under a cloud of uncertainty for weeks. Questions lingered in every conversation. Rumors traveled faster than facts. Everyone seemed to have a theory, but no one had the answers they were searching for. At the center of it all was Danny. What happened to him had shaken the entire community. Friends, family members, and even people who barely knew him found themselves talking about the mystery. Every new clue seemed to create more confusion instead of providing clarity. No one felt the weight of the situation more than Anna. She had spent years solving difficult cases, uncovering secrets, and exposing dangerous schemes. Experience had taught her that the truth was rarely simple. Sometimes the obvious answer turned out to be completely wrong. That instinct kept telling her there was more to this story than anyone realized. While others focused on the surface details, Anna quietly followed a different trail. The evidence didn't add up. Witness statements conflicted with one another. Certain records seemed incomplete. Several key details appeared to have been deliberately hidden. The deeper she looked, the more she became convinced that someone was working very hard to keep the truth buried. What Anna didn't know was that she was getting closer to a secret powerful enough to change everything. As the investigation continued, tensions throughout Port Charles grew stronger. Jason wanted answers. Dante wanted accountability. Sam worried about what further discoveries might mean for Danny and everyone connected to him. Meanwhile, whispers about possible suspects continued spreading. Every day brought a new theory. Every day brought another accusation, yet none of them felt right. Anna trusted her instincts, and her instincts told her that the real story had not yet been revealed. One afternoon, an unexpected lead landed on her desk. At first glance, it seemed insignificant, a routine document, a minor discrepancy, a detail most people would have ignored. But Anna wasn't most people. Something about it immediately caught her attention. She reviewed the information again, then again, and again. The more she examined it, the more questions emerged. Why had certain files been altered? Why were key dates inconsistent? And why did several names keep appearing in connection with events that should have been unrelated? The pattern was impossible to ignore. Someone had been manipulating information. The discovery sent Anna down a path she never expected. As she followed the trail, she found herself drawn toward a secret operation that had remained hidden in plain sight. The implications were enormous. This wasn't just about Danny anymore. This involved people with resources, influence, and a powerful motivation to protect themselves. Anna knew she had to proceed carefully. One wrong move could alert the people responsible. One mistake could cause the truth to disappear forever. Determined to uncover what was really happening, she began gathering evidence quietly. She trusted only a small circle of allies. Even then, she shared very little. The fewer people who knew, the better. As days passed, the investigation started producing results. Piece by piece, the puzzle came together. Each answer revealed an even bigger question. Each discovery pointed toward a shocking conclusion. The individual everyone suspected wasn't actually responsible. The real story was far more complicated. When Anna finally identified the person connected to the mystery, even she was stunned. The revelation challenged everything people thought they knew. Motives that once seemed obvious suddenly looked completely different. Relationships took on new meaning. Past events began making sense in unexpected ways. For the first time, Anna could see the full picture. But knowing the truth and proving it were two very different things. The evidence remained incomplete. She needed something more. She needed confirmation. That opportunity arrived when she learned about a confidential meeting involving someone connected to the case. The meeting wasn't supposed to happen, at least not publicly. Yet somehow, Anna discovered just enough information to put herself in the right place at the right time. What she overheard changed everything. A conversation she was never meant to hear revealed that certain people had been protecting information for months, not because they wanted to harm anyone, but because they feared what would happen if the truth became public. Their decision created a chain reaction that ultimately affected everyone involved. Anna listened carefully. Every word mattered. Every detail could be the key she needed. By the time the conversation ended, she understood the full scope of the situation. The mystery surrounding Danny was connected to a much larger secret, a secret capable of damaging reputations, destroying alliances, and exposing long-hidden agendas. The challenge now was deciding what to do with that knowledge. Anna understood the consequences. If she revealed everything, lives would change forever. If she stayed silent, the truth might never emerge. Neither option was easy. Meanwhile, others throughout Port Charles sensed that something significant was happening. Jason noticed Anna becoming increasingly focused. Dante realized she was withholding information. Even those closest to her could tell she was carrying a heavy burden.
The pressure continued building. Eventually, Anna reached a decision. The truth deserved to be known, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how disruptive, no matter who might be affected. Before moving forward, however, she needed one final piece of evidence. The search led her to a source connected to the original incident, someone who had remained silent for far too long. Convincing that person to talk would not be easy. Fear had kept them quiet. Loyalty had kept them quiet. Regret had kept them quiet. Yet Anna had a unique ability to reach people when they needed it most. Rather than applying pressure, she offered understanding. Rather than making demands, she listened. Gradually, the walls came down. The source finally revealed information that confirmed Anna's suspicions. The missing piece had been found. Now there could be no doubt. The story everyone believed was incomplete. Critical facts had been hidden. Important decisions had been made behind closed doors, and the consequences had reached far beyond what anyone imagined. As preparations began for the truth to come out, anxiety spread among those connected to the secret. Some hoped for forgiveness, others feared exposure. Several worried about relationships that might never recover. No one knew exactly how events would unfold. What everyone understood was that change was coming. The moment of reckoning arrived sooner than expected. When the information finally became public, reactions were immediate. Shock swept through Port Charles. Friends confronted friends. Families faced uncomfortable questions. Old assumptions collapsed. People who thought they understood the situation suddenly realized how little they actually knew. The revelation forced everyone to reconsider their perspective. For some, it brought relief. For others, it brought disappointment. For many, it brought both. Danny's situation had never been as straightforward as it appeared. The truth was more complicated, more emotional, and far more personal. Anna watched the reactions carefully. She knew the disclosure would create turbulence. Still, she believed honesty offered the best chance for healing. Secrets have a way of growing stronger when left in darkness. Eventually, they become impossible to control. Bringing the truth into the open was painful, but it was necessary. As the dust began settling, conversations shifted. People stopped focusing solely on blame. Instead, they started considering how to move forward. Relationships remained strained. Trust needed rebuilding. Questions still lingered. Yet there was also a sense of hope. For the first time in a long while, the uncertainty had begun to fade. The truth had emerged. What happened next would depend on the choices people made from that point forward. Anna understood that her work was not finished. Exposing a secret is only the beginning. The harder challenge comes afterward, helping people rebuild, helping them understand, helping them find a path beyond the pain. As she reflected on everything that had happened, one lesson stood out above all others. Secrets rarely stay hidden forever. No matter how carefully they are protected, no matter how many people try to keep them buried, eventually the truth finds its way into the light. And when it does, lives change forever. The mystery surrounding Danny may finally have reached a turning point, but its impact will continue shaping Port Charles for a long time to come. New questions are already beginning to emerge, new alliances are forming, new challenges are appearing on the horizon. And if history has taught Port Charles anything, it's that every answer eventually leads to another mystery. As the next chapter begins, one thing remains certain. The truth has finally been revealed, but the consequences are only just beginning.